I think that's how I'd write it. And I think that's how it could probably play out. Any case, thinking out loud. Um, Speaking of Roman, we got Roman versus Edge, and this one I thought Edge was actually gonna skate out with this title.
Yeah. Until Seth frickin' Rollins.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on Seth. I've always liked Seth. And I need your honest opinion. Do you think they're ever going to put a world title back on Edge?
So they might, but I don't think he needs it.
Well, yeah, I don't think he needs it either. I was asking your opinion because I don't even know at this point.
I think Edge needs to be a heel.
Yeah.
And I've had people arguing against me like, oh well, he just returned. They're not going to turn him heel. Best Edge is heel Edge. It's just like Randy Orton. I mean, Randy Orton's not a great face. He's a great heel, but he's not a great face. And as much people like the nostalgia run from Edge, he is a better heel. Mm-hmm. Between him and Christian's the better face. Christian is, because of how Christian was treated in WWE and never really given a chance, he is entertaining as a heel, but he is a better face. He's one of those guys you want to get behind for them to actually win. Edge is a better heel.
Because Edge has that, Edge, he's the egotistical motherfucker. He proved that in 06 to 09. And then Christian is the underdog that you want to get behind all the time.
He's a Daniel Bryan. They're both pretty good at being heels, but they're a better face.
Especially his 2011 run.
Yeah. And this is kind of like comparing characters. Like Kevin Owens and CM Punk, I think, kind of fall into the basket that they're better as tweeners. Like, they're not going to be straight up faces. They're going to be kind of asshole faces. They could be asshole heels, but they're kind of asshole faces to where they're better fit as like a tweener. Roman, it's hard to know what he would be like as a face now, but his old face stuff was not good. He's a better heel right now.
Succotash.
That was more of WWE's writing than anything else. I don't think we'll ever get that version of Roman ever again. I think with how well this one's working, he's probably going to be a more edgier face when he does flip again. But this is probably the best Roman character work wise we've seen.
Yeah, other than the Shield shit.
And the Shield was that wasn't dedicated to Roman. That was more to the group.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But what'd you think of the overall match itself?
The match I thought was pretty good, and it still shows that Edge can still go with the best of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
For being gone for 10 years, forced to retire and come back, he's proven that he can still go with some of the younger guys.
It's crazy to see Edge and Christian both do that.
Yeah. Considering they've been wrestling since
mid-90s.
Yeah. The 90s. And one thing I am happy that this match brought us is we're getting Edge and Rollins.
It's weird because I'm not big on nostalgia runs in terms of that person being kind of dominant, but I wouldn't mind seeing Edge beat the shit out of Rollins.
Yeah, because after Edge retired and then Rollins came in and I saw more of Rollins' work, I'm I really wish we would have saw Edge and Rollins.
I think between Edge and Christian, I actually think Christian and Rollins would probably be a more entertaining match.
Yeah, it could be. I'm just, because of the way that Edge and Rollins' characters were, especially at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Edge retiring time and Rollins at the time, I think it was 2015, 16.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish I could have seen that, because seeing Rollins egotistical motherfucker heel shit, Edge's face run before he retired, I think that would have been pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
But it was a Good match. And then we saw Ghost.
So John Cena comes back, and so because you made a joke about the Ghost, so someone showed a clip on social media of John Cena cutting the promo on Raw, where he's just like, and I'll see you on Friday, and drops the mic, and someone goes, "That's it, Vince McMahon won. If he can make a microphone levitate in thin air, he's got all the magic in the world." But I like the fact that it's Cena versus this form of Roman, because people have been showing also clips from a few years ago when Roman was a face and couldn't really cut a promo, and Cena was kind of clowning on him. I think this version of Roman, it was probably the best one to face Cena. And although they did show that on SmackDown that basically Roman said no to Cena, there's one of the things I've been seeing on wrestling social media that doesn't make sense. People are taking that as they made Roman seem small. I am not getting that vibe. I'm getting the vibe that he doesn't feel John Cena deserves it because John Cena has been a part-timer and not doing anything. He did give the okay to face Finn Balor for the title when Finn Balor requested it after laughing in his face. But at the same time, you can make the argument that Roman would choose that because Finn Balor has been consistently working there, and he deserves the opportunity to face the tribal chief, in his words. I think him denying Cena is more of a heel tactic and more of a dick move than anything else.
Yeah, I do think he's still going to end up being Cena.
Oh yeah, definitely will be. They're not going to get rid of that. That's a money match.
Yeah, what I think they might do is have like Cena and Balor maybe do like a one-on-one number one contender bullshit. And then Cena go to SummerSlam and face him, and then I wouldn't mind before Cena actually like goes back to Hollywood and shit, Cena a triple threat between them.
I think Cena's going to be around for a few months. I honestly, I think Cena we're gonna at least see him until Survivor Series. But that's my opinion, and there's no guarantee behind that. But I think that's how long he'll be there. But it's funny because he actually cut a promo after he came out on at Money in the Bank where he was just like, "Why am I getting cheered? This doesn't make sense. You guys normally boo me."
Yeah,
And making fun of that. I give him credit for that. One of the things I will always credit Cena for is he's always okay with making fun of himself. But we'll see how they do it. That was cool that they saw that happen, or we saw that happen. We've seen Black on AEW now, and from everything I'm seeing and everything I'm hearing, including a couple of people that I know that are insiders, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are all elite.
the beard and the best.
Yeah. People are making jokes of him, all three, those two and Cody forming NWO again. I don't want that. I'd rather see, yeah, because Cody came from WWE and he's kind of like the face of the company. Hogan came from WWF and was face of WCW. Then you had the outsiders of Hall and Nash, which now you have Bryan and Punk show up. I don't want that. I'd rather them go their separate ways, and I really would prefer AEW have them go their separate ways. I want to see Punk versus Cody. I want to see Punk tear Cody down on the mic. I want to see Punk go into Adam Page on the mic. There's so many other stuff we can see from Punk and AEW. I have been asked separately if I think Punk will win a world title. I honestly don't think he needs it. Whether or not he wins it that's what AEW decides to do. I just don't think he needs it. Bryan, I would like him to face Omega.
Yes.
I would like to see him face Jungle Boy.
Underdog versus underdog right there.
Yeah. MJF.
Punk. That microphone. The like words.
Maybe. So here's my problem with that. I think nothing against MJF because I think he's really good on the mic. I think Punk will tear him down on the mic. That's the problem.
Punk will tear so many people down on the mic.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The only reason I would not want them to do it with MJF is because MJF's allure is that he's really good on the mic. And I'd rather keep them separate for a while to where people just kind of mentally book it in their head and then it happens. Because you give them the people they want at that point. I wouldn't mind seeing Punk and Brian Cage. Bryan and Ricky Starks. Frankie, Frankie's probably wrestled them, but Frankie involved in one of the other. I don't mind between the two. Sammy Guevara, I would like to see against Bryan. Punk and Guevara would probably be good. The only thing is, I think Punk might end up going against the Inner Circle, like multiple members of the Inner Circle, and I kind of feel like if he does, he's going to tear into Jake Hager.
Yeah. I think that's one thing Punk would also like about being there. He's got like more freedom on the mic.
From what I've been told, is he part of his agreement is he has complete control of his character and what storylines he's involved in.
No, so the complete opposite of WWE.
Yeah. And from what I heard about Bryan, he has a lot of the same stuff.
I'll tell you one thing, like it's not that I don't like AEW,
Actually, let me pause on that. When I say insiders, I know someone that's friends with someone that's involved with Tony Khan, apparently. And I'm also friends with somebody that is friends with CM Punk outside of the ring. That's where a lot of this is coming from.
It's not, I'm not saying this because I'm not a big fan of AEW. I am a fan of it. I do like see stuff on social media. I just don't watch the wrestling product as a whole as much anymore as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Punk being in AEW and Bryan as well being in AEW might make me like get attracted to it more, like how it was in the early 2010s. Because I'm young. I'm only 20. I started watching like 2010, and Punk and Bryan and them were like the first few people I saw but I think I'll probably start watching more of the product again. But I've always been a big fan of Punk, you know this. So, and him being in the ring again has been something I've wanted since 2014.
And that's one of the things that I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself on, is because like when a lot of these people were talking about it, like, oh, can you believe it? Can you believe it? It's a game changer. It's a game changer. I'm like, I will believe when I see it. Like, but it's happening. I'm like, I will believe when I see it. And that's where I'm kind of like, I will of course like fantasy book it, but I'm not gonna be like, yes, it's happening yet. Be super excited by it. And the main reason is Bryan is married to Brie Bella. Brie Bella's mom is married to John Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis is part of one of the head of talent relations with WWE. I do think Bryan is more likely of the two to show up in AEW, but I do think there's a possibility that it could be all hype and nothing. With Punk, I've been wanting him to come back since 2014. He's one of the very few wrestling characters that I got so behind so quickly. And part of that is I'm more of an anti-authoritarian. I don't like authority figures. That's just my personality trait, unfortunately.
Yep.
So Punk kind of appeals to that. And there's so many different years where it's just like, oh, Punk's coming back. Punk's coming back. Punk is coming back to Ring of Honor. He's coming back to Impact. He's coming back to WWE. When AEW is being launched, Punk to AEW confirmed. Punk back to WWE confirmed. WWE backstage, Punk is going to show up in the ring again. It's one of those things where I'm just not wanting to be let down again. So it's going to be I believe it when I see it kind of thing. But if it does happen, it does happen. And AEW would be awesome there. I do think it might send a nice little shockwave through wrestling as a whole, like it did a few years ago.